videos, and we see looks like he's a very good person to actually work with and be a partner with. Well, right today is, we have Nicole, who I sponsored myself up here. She's right there. We have Emmanuel, who is my second sponsor up there. We're supposed to have Daniel, but I think he's in a very poor connection area, so I think he's trying to really get in. We have the two guests there, and then we have Lame is coming in from Botswana, and we have Hawa. Hawa is actually coming in from Uganda. We've got other people actually be on the way soon, and we shall have them on board. And so myself, I'm super excited because today I think I already have a pen and a book ready to take notes from John, because I've heard about you several times, and I'm really happy to be a part of this group tonight. So thank you so much, Mike, for your great support you've been giving us. We promise to do whatever it takes to get the content going, and we'll get this thing up in Africa. So welcome, everybody. Be sure that you mute your mics and make sure that your cameras are turned on. If you have a smartphone, please silence it. If you have a book and a pen, make sure that you got it with you so that you take notes from this gentleman, because he's a great man that we have right here. So I think that's all, but make sure that you're on until we end. So thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Take it away, John.
Okay, well, great, guys. Thanks for that kind introduction, and excited to be on the Zoom here with you, clear across the other side of the world, I guess. Well, not quite that far, but as Mike had mentioned, I'm one of the people that would be there, to work with you, to support you, most likely travel there. I would probably be one of the first people you would see from an actual standpoint in the country. Myself and probably our VP of our Director of International, Terry Recknor, which I think some of you have already spoke with and met. But yeah, I'm excited about having you guys on here, and the legwork and groundwork and groundbreaking work that you're doing there in the country. And so Mike, what would you like me to do here? Just kind of give me a little bit of a guidance of what message or what you'd like me to cover.
Yeah, I've been meeting with the group here on a regular basis, and there's been many guests on. Everybody coming to the room is joining the team, and these guys are very, very excited. Maybe go back through your story of some of the things you've experienced, where the timing fits in, where you see this just as a whole, and share with them where you see the vehicle going and your background with Dave, and just do your thing, John. That'd be absolutely
okay. Fantastic. Well, that's given me good guidance. Thank you, Mike. Well, guys, as Mike had said, I've actually earned it coming up now at almost 20 million. I've been involved in the industry for 30 years. I came to the industry with no business or professional background. Right out of high school, I had went to work at a potato chip factory. I was a welder, building, maintaining equipment, things of that nature. I have a learning disability. I have dyslexia, which means I have a very difficult time with reading and spelling. Still struggle with it today, but back then it really affected my self-esteem and my self-confidence. I was very shy and introverted, and I guess the reason I share that is because many times people ask if they can do this, and I mean, it doesn't matter what your age, your background, what you do, who how much you make, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is you recognize, what's happening, and number two, you take action. But the industry itself has, completely and totally transformed my life. I really embraced the industry. My first ever experience was a water filter. And so you think about water filtration, 20 or 30 years ago was somewhat unique or cutting edge. See, we got some noise going there. Not sure who that is. Okay. Yeah. So water filtration, 30 years ago was somewhat cutting edge, and I had a tremendous experience with that company. I mean, I learned the fundamentals. I fell in love with the concept of network marketing and what it could do for an average person to give them an above average or an extraordinary life. But the big thing is I realized how important timing was and how important consumable products were. And so realizing that I had missed it from a timing standpoint, that I needed a consumable product. I began to study and research the industry. And then I found a company that was about 2 years old, doing about $2 million a month in sales, and it was a supplement company. So, the timing was great, the products were great, and so I, resigned from that company, joined this nutritional company, spent the next 12 years there. And in that 12-year window is where I made my first real money. I made $4 million, thinking I'm going to be there for life. And then the company got sold. And then it got sold for a second time. And basically, because people always ask, what happened? Why aren't you still there? I mean, if you were having that level of success, why aren't you still there? And what happens is I lost my belief. I'm not sure where we're getting that background noise. Anyway, so what happened is I lost my belief. And I believe that is what the basis and the foundation behind what we do is. It's belief. People buy people. And I felt like I was trying to sell a dream and live in a nightmare. I just couldn't in good conscience continue to promote it. Although I love the people, I love the products, I didn't believe in the opportunity. And so it really kind of almost goes against your moral being. And so had an opportunity at that point to become the master distributor, which was, distributor number one in a startup nutritional company. And I ended up spending the next 12 years there. And that's where I made my first really big money. Actually earned between that company and its sister company, earned $12 million. And so, it was just an incredible experience. And again, the question is what happened? Well, the owner of the company, about 8 years into that venture, started a sister company. And he did it behind my back with two of my personal diamonds. And, it affects your trust. And trust is the foundation behind belief, right? And so I had a great organization. I'm earning $100,000 plus a month and, love the people, love the product. So I tried my best to try to, navigate through this, to do the best I could to hold it all together. And Dave Jordan, who's the owner of VALENTUS, was part of my organization at that time. Okay. Hey guys, Peter, that volume carries right through here. So, so anyway, so what happened is, where was I? So he started a sister company. And I lost my trust, and so that is the foundation behind belief. And Dave Jordan, who was involved in my organization at that point with that company, he got disgusted with what took place. He left. We stayed in contact. We only live a few hours away from each other. We were great friends, and so when he launched VALENTUS, I saw it as an opportunity to, because so much what's important in this business, and besides belief, is being excited, right? When you're really actually excited in something, when you really believe in something, when when you're talking to people that you have something valuable and exciting to offer them, I mean, it just totally changes your attitude and your feeling about what you do. And so, I knew Dave. I knew his work ethic. I knew his passion. I knew his vision, and so I resigned from that company. And I was still earning, between the two companies, I was still earning, $50,000 a month. And so it was a bit of a leap of faith. But I can tell you that, it's been the best decision, I've ever made. Matter of fact, I look at my experience here in this industry, having been really with 4 companies. The first company was the water filter company, made $400,000. Second company was this, nutritional company. I made $4 million. The next company I made, between the two sister between that and the sister company, made $12 million. And right now, I'm on track to make almost $4 million this year. And so, I mean, this has been an unbelievable experience, of what this company has provided. So what I've learned is this, and I've actually written a book on this. What I've learned is this, is all of these companies are made up of 5 critical elements, right? The company, the product, compensation, timing, and training and support. And if 2 or 3 of those elements are not in place, okay, it's going to affect your result, right? I mean, you could take me, you could take Mike, you could put us in a company with 2 or 3 of those elements not in place, and we're going to struggle, right? I mean, when you enter a company and go to work with a company where all of those elements are in place, that magnifies and multiplies, one's efforts, right? And so, I mean, again, you could take me, put me in a company that's messed up. I mean, I look at, what I'm earning now compared to what I earned in the past, and I'm the same person. I do the same things I've always done, but the result that I'm experiencing is much different. I mean, you look at somebody making $10,000 a month or somebody making $100,000 a month. In many cases, they may have the same ability, the same work ethic, but the difference is the vehicle, right? The opportunity, because you're only as good as the vehicle or the company you're with, right? And so, and just to touch on those areas real quick, I mean, we are a rock solid, debt-free company, and I think, all of that stuff is important because it's important to know the infrastructure to support your efforts is there. Right, we're expanding all over the world. We've got products that meet huge market concern, that are highly consumable. But when it comes to our weight loss coffee, right, that's the product that just seems to stop people dead in their tracks. Because I've spent most of my career network marketing in supplements, right, which I kind of refer to as the convincing business. You're always trying to convince someone to do something they're not already doing, spend money on something they're not spending money on, and it's a compliance nightmare to keep them doing it, right? Well, when it comes to coffee, right, they're already spending money on it. They're in the habit of it. They're going to do it the rest of their life anyway. And then you couple together, weight loss with it, which, most everybody wants to lose weight, and I've struggled with my weight my entire adult life. And when I say that, and here's what I know: someone who struggles with weight thinks about it every day. They're willing to try anything. I've tried everything, and one word sums up every diet I've ever been on, and that is miserable. Right? I mean, the problem with diets is you're miserable. And here's what I know: whatever someone does to lose their weight, if they're not able to or willing to do that the rest of their life, they're going to gain their weight back, right? And again, that's where Valentus and its weight loss coffee, come in, because you're spending money on it, you're in the habit of it, you're going to do it the rest of your life, and most importantly, you're not miserable. It's something you enjoy doing. And so it's the easiest thing I've ever done, sold or talked about. And of course, one of the other things that's driving the success that we're having is the results that people are having on it, right? That's a big thing. Results are a big thing. When people see the results through our 6-day experience and see the results that people are having with just even a few cups of coffee, I mean, that really drives success. And then the next thing is timing. And, every company tells you the timing's perfect, but, timing's a factor of numbers. And there's really only 2 numbers that matter. It's how many distributors are there and what's the sales volume. And if either one of those numbers are big, you've missed it from a timing standpoint. Okay. And by both of those measurements, the timing here really is perfect. Here's the thing about timing is it's very predictable. Okay. If you study companies as I have, there's certain sales volume numbers that trigger growth, right? That trigger momentum, that send a company into critical mass. It's very, very predictable. And the key is to getting involved in that company in what I call the sweet spot, to get a base built before the company goes in that critical mass vertical growth where the masses begin to pour on. So you're positioned to have a big enough team to take advantage of the compounding effect of critical mass. Does that make sense? So that's where we are. And as Mike already alluded to, the training and support, what we're all willing to do. I think, me being on here today just gives testimonial to the fact that I'm in the trenches, right? I'm not, sitting on some ivory tower, saying, I'm doing what I'm teaching. right? I'm out there personally prospecting. I'm out there doing meetings. I'm doing conference calls all the time. I'm doing all the things that I believe others should be doing to grow their business. And so anyway, that's a little bit, Mike, if you want to, chime in or guide me if there's something else you'd like me to touch on or cover.
Yes, absolutely, John, and thank you so much for that. Know that everybody on this webinar right now, that all markets are brand new. The U.S. is young. Everything is young. There's 92 countries we're shipping to, and what that means for you is you're pioneering this business. As we know, South Africa's in process right now. Obviously, each market's going to take time, and how we're going to get each market open is leadership. Developing emeralds, creating a diamond, and the company's going to take note, and that your market's going to get moved up and up into priority of getting everything completed. Before I open this up for John with questions, I did record this webinar. This will be available for playback for your guests. And before I open up for questions, I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to ask John one more thing. John, with your experience and everything you see going on here with the company, and we have a few more guests. There's a big leader here from Nigeria coming on. Working with the Burlings, myself, our team, what you see has happened here. Burlings are double diamond. They'll go triple this month. Everything you see from our group, just give them a little insight on what you see happening with the group and what it means for the team here.
Well, I think several things there, Mike. And one, I just want to back up for a moment for what you talked about, creating volume in a country. I mean, if you look at the countries that we really have a lot going on in, other than the United States, right? I mean, we never said, hey, we're going to go to the Philippines, we're going to go to UK, we're going to go to Spain. What happened was this leadership formed in that country, and then the company then followed. Right, the Philippines, was doing 100,000 a month volume, and the company is like, wow, we need to go get registered. We need to, it was all through NFR. And same happened in Europe, and the same, or in England, and the same happened in Spain. And of course, that's what we're now seeing with the quality leadership that I see on this Zoom, and what the potential is there with what's being put together here. As you know, Terry, our VP, our Director of International, is already working on this project, right, to help this, South Africa be one of our next big countries. Okay, so and then Mike, you talked about where we're going as far as growth. We are absolutely still ground floor. I mean, we just had an event in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. We had 800 people there, and 400, well, probably 350 of the people in that event were from somewhere else in the world. I mean, weren't from the United States. I mean, you can tell a lot by the size of an event, right? I mean, if I was to throw a dart at the map in the United States and go to a meeting, I mean, we'd be hard pressed to find a location where 100 people would show up, right? And so the timing of where we are in the United States is incredible. Now you're able to do business here in the United States, live in South Africa, as you are able to do business anywhere else in the country. Right now, our largest market, I'm going to be in Spain next month, and there's going to be 400 people in the room, right, in Madrid. And so, the opportunity is just enormous, as you know. But I just want you to really know that we're right at that first tipping point where we have enough going on, where the evidence is there, the proof of the product, the proof of the income. The company has got their act together. They've got the money to expand internationally. And so, but yet we're experienced. We came into the new year, grew 700,000 in January over December. We grew, 450,000 in February over January. And, we just closed out March. We grew 850,000 in March. And right now, I talked to Dave last night. He gave me an updated figure. We're about 450,000 ahead of last month at the same day, on the 10th day of the month. And so we're on track to do 1 million, 1.2 million, 1.5 million growth here in the month of April. And, you know, if we do anything over 1 million, I mean, that momentum is going to carry us right into, you know, right into the May. And I think we're going to grow another 1 million. And so this thing is hot. So, you know, not just thinking about, you know, South Africa, but also think a little bit about who you might know in other parts of the world. That we're a bit more established in, that you could tap into some of the success that's happening there as well. So, Mike, anything else you'd like me to touch on?
I'm going to open it up for questions and close out the recording. Before I do so, I'd like to thank John. I'd like to thank Mello, Nikki, Emmanuel, Daniel, all the leaders, Hawa, Nelson, everybody that attended here today. If you're watching this video for the first time on the internet, and believe me, this video is gonna get a ton of traffic. If you're viewing this online right now and you're serious about building a long-term residual income and being in the business of helping people, becoming a founding member in your market and developing leaders in your organization, get back to the person that invited you to this event. You just heard from the #1 money earner, Mr. John Horenza, Black Diamond with the company. John is recognized as one of the top 10 sponsors or team uplines to join with in the world of network marketing according to Business for Home. And speed is a strategy, timing is crucial, and take advantage of whoever invited you to this event. Get back to the person that invited you and get started today. And I'm going to stop the recording at this time. Everybody have a great week. I'm going to open it up for questions.